This is the classic horse cart problem. So the story goes, the farmer tells the horse to pull the cart. And the horse says, if I pull on the cart will pull on me, and the two forces will be the same amount, equal, in opposite direction. So the horse says, why bother pulling on this cart? Because even if I pull on it, I'm not going to move anywhere. So now the farmer needs to come up with a reply to his really stubborn horse to convince the horse to start pulling and that the horse can move. Now, you and I know that a horse can pull a cart. It is possible. But how do we understand this in light of Newton's third law? So the first part of the solution is that these are not the only forces. These are not the only forces. There are other forces involved. And so if you look carefully, you might think of gravity and normal, but we're not really going to worry about this because this is not a flying horse. We're just worried about the horse going horizontally. So what other forces are there horizontally? So if you look at the hoof of the horse, you'll notice that the horse is pushing the ground backward, or at least it can push the ground backward, okay? And what's the reaction force? The reaction force is that the ground pushes the horse forward. And if the horse pushes on the ground with enough force, and then the ground will be able to push the horse forward and move it forward. Okay, and these two are action-reaction forces. Now, it might be weird to think about the ground moving a horse, but I want you to do a thought experiment. Imagine that the floor was really slippery. Maybe there's oil, or maybe this horse is on ice. But if it's very slippery and the horse cannot grip, there's no friction with the ground, then you could see that this horse would have a really hard time pulling this cart. So the friction with the ground is very important. And so if there was no friction, this horse would not be able to move this cart. But because there is friction, the answer to this puzzle is two parts. The first part is that these are not the only forces. The horse on the cart on the horse, these are not the only forces. The second part is to understand there's also a force between the horse and the ground. So as the horse pushes the ground back, the ground pushes the horse forward.
So how do we know that action-reaction forces are equal and opposite? Let's take a look at some observations with spring scales.
So here I have two spring scales, and we're going to, as I pull on these spring scales, it will record the amount of force that's being exerted by the spring scale. And right now I'm going to pull on this spring scale, the one on the top right, and I'm going to pull it to 1 Newton. And you'll notice over here that this is about 1 Newton as well. Now, this time I'm going to keep this one still, and I'm going to pull on this one. I'm going to pull it to 2 Newtons. And you'll notice that this is at 2 Newtons, and this is also at 2 Newtons. So it doesn't matter which one is pulling or which one you're holding, the force is the same. Now I have these carts. These are sensor carts, and not only can they record velocity, but they can also record forces. So if you pull on here, on this hook right here, it can record the force. So I can pull a lot, I can pull a little bit, okay? But no matter how hard I pull, if I take a look at the data here, we see that the force is the same. So the force on each cart is the same all the time. So this leads us to this idea of Newton's third law, which talks about action-reaction forces. And Newton's third law states that for every action force, there is an equal and opposite reaction force. Now let's take a look at an example. So imagine we have a tennis ball like this, okay? And the tennis ball is on the earth. And I'm going to draw the earth right now, and it is obviously not drawn to scale, but here is the earth, okay? And we know that there is a gravitational force pulling down on the tennis ball in this down direction, and the reaction force is the tennis ball pulling the earth up. So these two forces, according to Newton's third law, are equal and opposite. The tennis ball. But this is kind of weird because when I let go of the tennis ball, I can obviously see that it falls, okay? But I don't notice anything about the earth. I don't notice the earth falling upward. So how can these two forces be equal if I notice a big effect on the tennis ball, but I don't notice much of an effect on the earth? So the answer is that the forces are the same, but the effects are different, okay? And let's see why that is. So I'm going to write FET. This is the force of the earth pulling on the tennis ball. This is the gravity force, okay? And the reaction force is the force of the tennis ball pulling on the earth. This is the reaction. This is the tennis ball pulling the earth upward. Okay. Now let's think about the mass. How much mass does a tennis ball have compared to the earth? Really, really small, okay? And what do we know about Newton's second law? Force divided by mass is acceleration. So I will have a huge, very big acceleration. Huge, okay? Because you take a number divided by a very small number, you're going to get a very big number. On this hand, for the Earth, how much mass is the Earth compared to the tennis ball? The Earth has a huge amount of mass, right? It's very massive. Okay. If you take a number divided by a very big number, what happens? Imagine you have a cake and you slice it into 10 slices. And then now you have another cake. You slice it 100 slices, okay? Or even 1,000 slices, right? How big are each of those slices going to be? They're going to be really, really tiny, right? So if you take a number divided by a very big number, you can get a very tiny number. So this is the acceleration of the Earth. It's going to be very, very tiny. This is the acceleration of tennis ball. Huge relatively to this small acceleration, right? So when we talk about the force, we're not talking about the effect. So yes, the forces are going to be the same, but the effect is going to be different. Much greater effect. This force will have a much greater effect on the tennis ball because it has a small mass, and on the Earth, it's going to have a smaller effect because it has a large mass. Okay, so now let's look at some of the details of Newton's third law. All forces come in pairs. Okay, so whether it's a tension force or gravity force, all forces come in pairs. Action reaction forces occur at the same time. All right. So give an example of this. So let's say you try to touch the table, right? So you try to touch the table. Can you touch the table without the table touching your finger? So even if you did it real fast, right? You can't. So as soon as you touch the table is touching your fingers, and they occur at the same time, right? Like you try to touch your table before the table could touch your fingers. Like you can't do that, right? As soon as you touch the table touches your fingers. So they occur at the same time. Action reaction forces act on different objects. And so action reaction forces, even though they're equal in opposite direction, they do not cancel out. Right? So here I have a cart, okay, right here, and if I push on it, okay, there are action reaction forces, but they're not balanced because one of the forces on the cart and one of the force is on my fingers, and so it's not balanced. Now, if I push on this cart, right, on both sides, if I push them equally amount of force, then we would say the forces are balanced. But when we talk about action reaction forces, they are on different objects. So we say action reaction forces are equal. Doesn't matter, and also it doesn't matter if the object is moving or has a different size. So even though my size in the cart is different, if I push on this, the force of my fingers on the cart is equal to the force of the fingers on my force of the cart on my fingers. They are equal. It doesn't matter the size. And action reaction forces do not balance. They don't cancel each other out because they are on different objects. Now let's take a look at one more example. And in this example, I'd like you to imagine that you were holding an apple. So here's an apple, and we're holding the apple in our hand. So here's our hand, we're holding the apple. And so what forces are exerted on this apple? So you might say that there are two forces. There's gravity force and there's normal force. Okay, and you would be correct, gravity force, normal force. Now, normally would use like something like Fn and Fg for the forces, but I'm going to use what's called the agent-victim notation. Okay, so this is just another way to represent forces. So this force right here is the earth pulling the apple down. So I'm going to use FEA. Okay. And this force is the force of the hand pushing up on the apple, the normal force. So FHA. So the hand pushing on the apple up, the earth pulling the apple down. So these are balance forces. They are not action-reaction forces because they are on the same object. Action-reaction forces, one of their characteristics is that they are on different objects. Now I want to take a moment to analyze this force. We're going to analyze actually this force right here, this gravity force first. So I'm going to draw, here I have an apple, okay, and I'm also going to draw the earth. I draw earth right here, obviously not to scale, but here's the earth. Okay, and we have a force of the earth pulling down at the apple, which we're calling FEA, using the agent-victim notation. So the reaction force will be, you just flip that around, is the apple pulling up on the earth. Okay. Now this might be so strange. How can an apple pull up on an earth, right? But remember, the earth has a huge amount of mass, so the effect on the earth is very, very, very tiny, right? We talked about that earlier with the tennis ball. Okay, so these two are action-reaction forces, and we can use a dotted line to indicate that they are action-reaction forces. Okay, so these are action-reaction pairs, and we can use the dotted line to indicate that. Now let's take a look at the other force, which is the force of the hand on the apple. And we're going to redraw the apple over here, and we're going to look at this one a little bit more closely. And here's my hand. Okay, and we know that there is a force of the hand on the apple, force of the hand on the apple, which we will call FHA, and force of the apple on the hand. Force of the apple on the hand. Okay, all right. So these are action-reaction forces. Okay, we just take these two letters and flip them. Hand on the apple, apple on the hand. Okay, so these are action-reaction forces. And once again, we can use a dotted line to show that these two forces are action-reaction forces. Okay. So once again, these two forces are not action-reaction forces. These actually are balanced in each other. They cancel each other out. So the forces on this apple are balanced. These two are action-reaction forces, and these two are action-reaction forces.